What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ainks, and welcome to Track Talk, part of the Lactic Acid Network. I'm your host, Dominique Smith, and today, without further ado, we are going to talk about the Nike Prefontaine Classic that also happened to be the Diamond League Final. I happened to go to this meet. I was there covering it. Shout out to Hayward Magic, Magic Boost, and all the tremendous content creators, journalists, podcasters, you name it, photographers. It's a blessing to be a part of that group, but we covered it. We dished out some great content. There's a lot of videos being posted on my page, and there's even more that is coming, and a pretty big project that I am working on as well with one of the amazing legends of the U.S. javelin, women's javelin. So please be sure to check that out in the near future. But without further ado, here's a word from our sponsors. Calling all runners. Are you looking to elevate your running? Would you like the opportunity to be coached by some of the best minds in the sport today, as well as elite marathoners and Olympic athletes? Look no further than Next Best Run. They're committed to helping you achieve your running goals. The company was founded by two-time Olympian and elite marathoner Kim Connolly, as well as her husband and longtime coach, Drew Wardenberg. They've assembled a dynamic coaching roster that wants to help you reach your full potential in running, regardless of if you've never run before or if you've been running for your entire life. They offer personalized and adjustable coaching plans that meet your running needs, but those plans will take your running to the next level, y'all. They specialize in communication and communicating with their athletes, so do not be afraid to email, text, or set up video chats as much as needed. They also do group runs around the country, so who knows, they may be coming to your city. And guess what? It gets even better. The good news is you get all of these amazing features at an elite price. If you're interested in signing up, visit www.nextbestrun.com or follow them on social media. Let the staff at Next Best Run take your running to the next level. Pre was amazing, guys. And so today's episode, we're just going to talk about a couple things that stood out to me. 3 performances that stood out to me. It's going to be a quick episode. I promise you that. There were so many performances. But the 3 that I want to concentrate on, and we could talk so much. Christian Coleman winning the men's 100, Sharika Jackson dominating the women's 200 meters, and just her incredible meet that she had. We could talk about Andre DeGrasse. He always finds a way. Listen, he wins something. This time he's a Diamond League champion. He posted something on social media saying he's coming away with something. This was years ago, a couple of years ago, rather last year, when you ran the anchor leg in the World Championships in Eugene. So many incredible performances, but the 3 that I want to talk about, I do believe have impacts, not just for what we saw at the Prefontaine Classic, but going forward. So these are the 3 that I want to concentrate on. And so shout out to all of the amazing performances. Mondo Duplantis breaks the world record on like the first attempt, essentially. What an insane thing. Valerie Allman showed why she's the class of the women's discus. Oh man, there's just so many amazing performances, but here are the 3. So I want to start off by saying Gudaf Sagai in the women's 5K, the Nike women's 5K. We knew that race was going to be insane. When you have Elise Cranny and Sinclair Johnson as the pacers, you know, Elise is one of the best in the world when it comes to the women's 5K. I think she secured a top 10 finish at Worlds, and she's the pacer. So you know that race was going to be fast, since Claire's one of the best milers in the world as well. And it was fast. It was so fast that Gudaf Sagai ran a world record. I want you to comprehend this. 14 flat. 14.0021. Think about how crazy that is, y'all. She ran that fast. Almost went sub 14. And if you are a sprint mile, you may not understand that, but that would be the equivalent of going sub 19.1. Like, that is 19 flat, crossing over close to the 18s. Like, that is insane. That is insanity. And the fact that, or better yet, that's if Sharika, for example, she goes 21.08. 21.08, she's about to cross over. That's the level of insanity that we're talking about when it comes to that record, in my opinion, at least. And so just the fact that it was such a clean race, essentially, wasn't a huge field. Alicia Monson, shout out to her, being the lone American that wasn't a pacer in there. So much talent in that field. I'm really excited about this race specifically because just being in the stadium, the crowd roared. You knew something was going on. And the fact that she ran that fast was absolutely insane. But guess what? Faith Kipyegon. Guess what? She had the previous world record, 14:06, in the women's 5K. She set it in Monaco. And so here we are headed into Paris. Faith dropped 350, which is just crazy to me. Some of these times that were run, some of these efforts that were given, absolutely insane when you talk about how late it is in the season, or rather how late it was in the season. Faith, Godolph, somebody's breaking 13, somebody's breaking 14. I honestly believe that. I believe if Faith was in that race, somebody goes 13:58. I'm not sure who. Obviously Faith ran a tremendous race the day before. Rather, she ran just told you guys 350, and so that's close to her world record of 349. So I had to give her some love in the women's 5K. That was an amazing performance. That was incredible to witness and just to see, because I never thought I would see someone run that fast in that event. It's just insane to me. So that was a performance that that stuck out to me because of not just what we saw, but what happens leading into next year. Second performance, the men's shot put. Down goes Ryan Crouser. Never thought I would say that in the history of words. Like, I never thought that I would see him lose, let alone by 2 centimeters. And he was not thrilled to lose by 2 centimeters. And he's coming back with a vengeance. But shout out to Joe Kovacs, man. That dude has just stuck around and continues, just, he's always in the mix. He's always in the mix. He's challenging. But Ryan Crouser, that does not take away from his greatness. One loss does not take away from his greatness. But the fact that he put it together, not in a Diamond League meet, but in a Diamond League championship meet, I think that is going to push, that gives Kovacs a lot of confidence headed in to Paris, because Kovacs is not training for second place. He's probably the strongest man in the world. Ryan Crouser is one of the great technicians when it comes to the men's shot put and what he does. And so the fact that he got beat, I think it just elevates the men's shot put to a new level, which is something that you have to love. Listen, the throws don't get the respect that they deserve, and what they do. I picked up Ryan Crouser's shot put. I have a selfie with it. Listen, that thing is heavy. Like, it is tremendously heavy. Throwing the shot put before, I know how it is. Can I do what they do? Can I even comprehend what they do at that level? Absolutely not, because it is not meant for your average Joe or Sue, or even somebody who's done it, to be able to successfully throw that far. And so I'm in awe every time, the shot put, the discus, the javelin, the vaulters. Like, it is just truly amazing to see the incredible things that they do in the field. But I did not expect Crouser to lose, and I think that is a statement that everybody can make, because he just hasn't lost. Even in the close ones, he finds a way to pull it out. Next year, Ryan Crouser, Joe Kovacs, and Joe's going to be there. I think Joe, this takes his game to a new level, but I think it pushes Crouser to a new level as well, because he's not trying to lose again. Once you get the feeling of defeat, you can't go back. You don't want to go back. And so that is something that stood out to me. Shout out to Tom Walsh from New Zealand. I think he could be in the mix as well. But Crouser and Kovacs, 1 and 2. Now we have a match. Like, it is going to be legit. Obviously, you have to give Crouser the edge because he does have the world record. But listen, somebody competing with confidence is the most dangerous opponent. A confident opponent who gets hot at the right time. Last one best. And this one, I'll be honest, it was kind of a no-brainer for me. Rai Benjamin beat Karsten Warholm. Karsten wasn't happy. Got a chance to talk to him. He was not happy. Rai, it was a long time coming. I'm sitting in, and I'm setting the scene. I'm sitting in the creative mix zone, and I'm interviewing Maggie Malone Harden. Shout out to her. Just had her wedding ceremony. Shout out to the Harden family, and Maggie had a top 5 finish as well. Sitting down doing an interview with her, and just Eugene erupts. The mix zone erupts. You can hear the fans. We're right. I mean, we're within, we're 2 feet, we're 10 feet away from the stadium. Like, it's right behind the stadium in the warm up area. All of it is, kind of attached when it comes to media, athletes, all that stuff. And I'm like, well, why are people screaming? And Rye won. And to me, it is how Rye won. This is just me. Karsten had the lead. It's not like Rye dominated the entire race, but Rye kept him within striking distance, and he made his move. He knew when to make his move. You can say Karsten wore down. I don't care what you say. A win is a win, and I think that just does incredible wonders for Rye Benjamin and his confidence when it comes to racing. First of all, let's talk about who was in that race. Rye Benjamin, Karsten Warholm, Alison Dos Santos, who is one of the coolest dudes you'll ever see, coolest dudes you'll ever meet. You had the Americans, Trevor Bassett, you had CJ Allen. So this was a talented field. It's not like it was one-on-one. So Rye beat some powerhouses, specifically Dos Santos, who, won last year. Karsten versus Rye, it was always Karsten getting the edge. Obviously, we love that race in the Olympics in Tokyo, but I've said it on the show, I've said it when guests on the show, when Rye wins one, that opens the door for greatness. That opens the door, and I believe that he kicked that door down with that win for his confidence. That's not to say that Karsten's going to go down swinging, because I do think that he's coming back with a vengeance. But with Rye, I do think this elevates his confidence. And everybody here who has played any sort of athletic sport or done anything remotely similar, you know that once you get that first taste of victory, when you're playing football, you get the tackle for a loss, or you get the win, or you do something spectacular, when you make a basket, when you dunk a basketball, get a block, when you run something fast, when you beat an opponent, when you, whatever it is that you do, when you get an A on a test, or when you secure a sale, that gives you confidence going forward, and it elevates you when it comes to your training, because you want to keep up that momentum. You do not want to regress and eliminate the progress that you made. And I think that will be the case for Rye Benjamin. I'm certain of it, and I really do think the sky's the limit. I think we are about to enter the Rye Benjamin dynasty when it comes to the 400-meter hurdles. I know that is an insane statement, and I do believe we're going to see some of the best hurdle races, and he is going to pull the talent behind him. He and Karsten, they're going to pull the talent behind them to match the greatness that they are currently, displaying. Allison as well. Do I think everybody's just going to pop out 45, 94s and all that stuff? Absolutely not. But I think the bar has been raised, rather, and I do think greatness is going to come from it. Those are the three that stood out to me. I want to know what performances stood out to you, because trust me, there were so many of them. We didn't even talk about Jakob. We did not talk about Grant Holloway, and how Cancel Parchment came into the men's 110 hurdles and won. And shout out to Grant, because I have to promote this. Gonna attach it. It should be up pretty soon. But Grant is hosting a golf tournament in Gainesville to raise money for families, essentially, so they can have food during Thanksgiving. So the proceeds are going to go towards those in need in the Gainesville area, as well as Chesapeake, Virginia, which is his hometown. It is a golf tournament, October 14th in Gainesville. Definitely a story coming out on it soon. Going to attach the link if you want to give. Please give, register, whatever the case might be. Going to be silent auction, and guess what? If you're concerned about food, you get a light breakfast and you get a nice lunch. So that's even more incentive to give. So shout out to him. Just had to mention that. Shout out to our sponsors with Kim and Next Best Run. If you're looking to elevate your game, please be sure to hit them up. Listen, and know it's the off season, but it's not the off season here. Had to take a little bit of a break, so things may be a little slow, but trust me, we're coming back with some fire episodes, some amazing guests on Lactic Acid coming soon, especially as we start to hit the stretch of the marathon. And listen, Tokyo is on its way, so guess what? All thriller, no filler, you know how we roll. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Until next time.